Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahabushai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahabushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. And that thing that's going to melt the elements with fervent heat and burn up the works in the earth are nuclear missiles, which will be shot to the ends of the earth, because nuclear war as well as World War III are biblical. This is Revelation chapter 9, verse 12. One woe or destruction is past, referring to World War I. And behold, there come two woes more hereafter. World War II, which is past, and World War III, which is yet to come, though it's coming quickly. And again, it's going to be a nuclear world war. And this nuclear destruction is going to take place after the MOB, or the MICROCHIP implant is mandatorily implemented. Revelation 13, verses 16 to 17. And the two main combatants in this upcoming third woe are going to be the United States of America and Russia. And while a lot of places around the earth will be hit with nuclear missiles, the one place that's going to be completely wiped off the face of the earth is going to be the United States of America. It's going to be hit with 200 million nuclear warheads. That's going to turn it into the biblical lake of fire from sea to shining sea and a desolate, uninhabitable wasteland afterwards. And the only people that are going to make it out of the United States of America are the elect, or the 144,000 and the rest of the righteous 1/3 of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners who look like the heathen nations. As for everybody else, you've got a gruesome death awaiting you. You're about to get that Sarah Connor treatment from Terminator 2. This is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouths. People getting burned up by that nuclear destruction. Hey, their flesh melting off their bones, their eyes and tongues and everything just burning up, and nothing but soot and ash left. Again, like that scene in Terminator 2 where Sarah Connor saw that nuclear destruction, and after it took place, what did you see? Her grabbing onto the gate, and her flesh and her eyes and her tongue being ripped off of her, and her skeleton being left. And I opened up this video with these precepts on nuclear war to preface an article from RT.com titled, "Fewer Nukes Stockpiled in 2021, but More of Them Primed for Launch as US and Russia, those two main combatants in this upcoming third woe, upgrade arsenals," Arms Watchdog reports. And this article is just going to be an update on this coming nuclear-armed third woe. It's like we always tell you sincere Akim out there, right now you should be diligently doing whatever you can to stay in the good graces of our power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahabushai, so you can hope to be of that elect number and have that protective hedge of Yahweh Bahasham Yahabushai over you and get beamed up on the chariots when these nuclear missiles are shot to the ends of the earth. In 2020, the world's nuclear powers have decreased the overall number of nuclear weapons in their possession, but more of them than a year ago are now ready to be fired at short notice, according to a report. Fired at short notice and melt the elements with fervent heat and burn up the works in the earth, mainly in the United States of America, which is biblically known as Babylon the Great, as well as spiritual Sodom and Egypt as pursuant to Revelation 11 verse 8, spiritual Assyria. At the start of the year, there were around 13,080 nuclear weapons stockpiled by 9 nations: the US, Russia, the UK, France, China, India, Pakistan, Israel, and North Korea, which is down from 13,400 a year prior, the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute reported on Monday, Slovakia. Yet at the same time, the number of nukes deployed with operational forces, that is, mounted on missiles or stored where they can be quickly prepared for use, has increased by about 105, reaching 3,825. And if you remember, during Donald Trump's presidency, he pulled the U.S. out of a lot of nuclear weapons treaty to try to keep a nuclear conflict from coming to pass. But everything's all through the will of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and it's prophecy for a nuclear war to take place and for the U.S., Russia, and these other heathen nations to shoot those nuclear missiles at each other. Russia and the U.S., the two nations holding most of the world's nuclear weapons, were predominantly responsible for both changes, SIPRI said. Both have continued to reduce their respective arsenals by retiring outdated warheads, but also prepared for action, adding some 50 weapons each. A change in the UK's nuclear position was another major development in the current nuclear deterrence situation noted in the report. In March, Boris Johnson's government dropped a pledge to reduce its nuclear stockpile to 180 by the mid-2020s and said it would instead produce additional weapons to a total of 260 warheads. Britain started the year with around 225 nuclear weapons, up from 215 last year, SIPRI estimated, and the UK, along with America's other allies like Britain, France, Germany, and these other NATO nations, at some point during this upcoming Third Woe, are going to betray the United States of America and ally themselves with Russia to altogether shoot those 200 million nuclear warheads onto this place. As it says in Revelation chapter 17, verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, the 10 horns representing the EU or European Union, and the beast representing NATO, hated the whore that sat upon the beast, the whore being the United States of America, Babylon the Great, and consumed her flesh and burnt her with fire, that nuclear fire. And you can also read about it in Jeremiah 50 verse 9, where it says an assembly of great nations, the U.S.'s allies which are going to turn against her, and Russia's own allies like China, Iran, and North Korea are going to gather themselves unto the North Country, which is referring to Russia, because Russia is known as the North Country in Jeremiah 50 verse 9, as well as Gog in Ezekiel chapter 38, and the Medes in Isaiah chapter 13 verse 17, to altogether take Babylon with arrows, and they're not going to spare those arrows, and those arrows are symbolic for the nuclear warheads. The Institute predicted an increase in nuclear stockpiles in the future and an upgrade of the arsenals of all nuclear nations. The rise in the number of operationally deployed nuclear weapons in Russia, that North Country, Gog, for example, was linked to the deployment of more advanced missiles with multiple warheads. And if you've been paying attention to the news, you know that Russia has these new weapons called hypersonic missiles and hypersonic glide vehicles that are more advanced than anything the United States of America has right now, and are capable to get past any anti-missile defense system that the United States of America has right now. The last-minute extension of New START, or the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, by Russia and the USA in February this year was a relief, but the prospects for additional bilateral nuclear arms control between the nuclear superpowers remain poor, remarked Hans Christensen, SIPRI's leading nuclear disarmament expert. China remains the third largest possessor of nuclear weapons in the world, with an estimated stockpile of 350 devices, the report said. France, India, and Pakistan have also declared stockpiles estimated at 290, 156, and 165 weapons respectively. Israel is believed to have around 90 nukes, but neither confirms nor denies its status. North Korea's arsenal remains classified, with SIPRI estimating it could have produced 40 to 50 nuclear devices by the beginning of 2021, though it is debatable whether Pyongyang can make fully functional missile warheads. So with this article, but this is just a quick prophecy update on this third woe, which is quickly coming to pass. Hey, with each passing day, we're getting closer and closer to the mandatory implementation of the MOB, this nuclear destruction, and our salvation. So again, to you sincere Akim out there, you should be doing everything you can to stay in the good graces of your power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and have all 10 toes down in this truth, pushing this word as hard as you possibly can to make your calling and election sure and be safe from this coming nuclear destruction. So with this video, I hope you sincere Akim were edified. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.